Welcome to Science Easy Tech channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about T-test, which is otherwise called as student T-test. This comes under Unit 7 for BSc Nursing students, that is Introduction to Statistics in Nursing Research. The subject is Nursing Research and Statistics. This video is useful for BSc Nursing students, post-basic BSc Nursing students, as well as students who are studying MSc Nursing. Before moving on to the topic, if you are new to Science Easy Tech channel, just take a moment to subscribe our channel and also to press the notification bell icon in order to get connected with our latest updates. Let's move on to the topic. T-test. This is otherwise called as student T-test. It was developed by English statistician William Seeley Gossett. If you forgot the name, you can write as W.S. Gossett. His pen name was student. So, this test is called as student T-test. Okay, his pen name is student. That's why we are telling it as student T-test. So, it was developed by W.S. Gossett. So where you will be using this t-test, suppose if the sample size is small, that is less than 30, then you will be using this student t-test. Okay, instead of z-test. Z-test is used for large sample size, but here if the small sample size is small, you will be using this t-test. So when you are using t-test, you will be assuming certain assumptions. What are the assumptions of t-test? The assumptions for validity of t-test are: the samples are taken from normal population. The samples you should take from normal population. The sample size should be less than 30, that is small sample size. Population standard deviation is not known. Samples are randomly selected. Observations are independent. The data must be in quantitative in nature, that is it can be measured either in interval scale or ratio scale. So these are the assumptions for validity of t-test. The samples are taken from a normal population. The sample size is small, that is n is less than 30. Population standard deviation is unknown. Samples are randomly selected. Observations are independent. The data must be in quantitative in nature, that is it can be measured either in interval or in ratio scale. So these are the some of the basic assumptions for t-test. Next, we will see the applications of t-test. See, this t-test what I am discussing, you can easily write, mostly they will be asking in 5-mark question. So, this is more than enough for a 5-mark question. Okay, so mostly for MSc nursing students, it's very important. But in BSc also theory in 5 marks they are asking. We are not going to deal with calculations and all. Only the theory part with the formula I am going to explain in this video. This is for 5 marks question. So applications of t-test, it is applied to find the significance of difference between two means. So if you want to find the significance of difference between two means, you can use this t-test. So it is applied to what? To find out the difference between two means, the significance of difference between two means, to test the significance of difference between two means. So you have two types, unpaired t-test and paired t-test. Let's see one by one. Unpaired t-test, so it will be testing for significance of mean of two groups. So it will be testing the significance of mean of two groups. So where it is used in small sample size. Population standard deviation is unknown, that is standard deviation 1 and standard deviation 2. Standard deviation 1, sigma 1 is standard deviation of first group, sigma 2 is standard deviation of second group. So you don't know, it is unknown. Here we want to test the mean of two significant independent groups. The two groups are also independent, they are not dependent group, they are independent groups. Here we want to test the mean of two significant independent groups. So what is unpaired t-test? It will be testing the significance of mean of two independent groups, small sample size. Population standard deviation sigma 1 and sigma 2 is unknown. Here we want to test the mean of two significant independent groups. So when you want to test the significance, first you have to formulate the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis H naught, H is 0, no, that we will be telling as H naught. Here mu1 is equal to mu2. Alternate hypothesis, that is mu1 is not equal to mu2. It can either be less than mu2 or it can be more than mu2. So it is two-tailed test. So null hypothesis H0 is equal to mu1 is equal to mu2, and H1 alternative hypothesis, which is mu1 is not equal to mu2, which is a two-tailed test. Next we will see the unpaired t-test formula. So here the test statistic t is measured by using the formula x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by square root of n minus 1 into standard deviation 1 square. S1 square means standard deviation of first group square plus n2 minus 1 into standard deviation of second group, that is S2 square, divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2 into 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. So the standard deviation formula T is, so you can by heart it, x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by square root of n1 minus 1 into s1 square plus n2 minus 1 into s2 square divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2 into, this dot means into 1 divided by n1 plus 1 divided by n2. The square root is for everything. Okay, so where x1 bar is sample mean of first group, x2 bar is sample mean of second group. x1 bar sample mean of the first group, x2 bar sample mean of the second group. S1 sample standard deviation of first group, S2 sample standard deviation of second group. This n1 plus n2 minus 2 is nothing but the degree of freedom df. n1 plus n2 minus 2 is degree of freedom. N is the sample size. So n1 is what? Sample size of first group. n2 is sample size of second group. Okay, n1 is sample size of first group. n2 is sample size of second group. Okay. Next, moving on to the inference. So if the calculated t value is less than the table value, so you will be having like logbook, you will be having the table reference t value. So using this formula with the given data, you are finding some answer in sums. So that time when you got the answer t value, that calculated t value is less than the table value at 5% level of significance. 5% means you have to see at 0.05 level, you have to see at 5% level of significance in the table, in the t table, t distribution table, you have to see with level of significance with n1 plus n2 minus 2 degrees of freedom, we accept null hypothesis H0. See, like this you will be having t distribution table. So you have to find out at 0.05 level of significance. Okay, 0.05 level of significance. So when you are finding at 0.05 level of significance, degree of freedom, how you will be calculating. So if you are having an example that how to calculate a degree of freedom, for example, n1 is 6 samples, n2 is 7 samples, 6 plus 7 how much? 13. 13 minus 2, 11. So your degree of freedom in where you have to see in 11 thing you have to see here in 11, this degree of freedom 11 you have to see at 0.05 level of significance. So in this way you have to see. So that and all I am not going in depth because here we are not dealing with any calculations, but you should know how to find out the degree of freedom. So inference. So once you have calculated the value using this formula, everything. So what you have to see, if the calculated t value, what you have calculated is less than the table value. I have shown the table, no, in that the table value is less than the table value of t at 5% level of significance with the n1 plus n2 minus 2 degree of freedom, we will be accepting null hypothesis H0 and we will reject alternate hypothesis. Suppose if the opposite of this, if the calculated t value is more than the table value of t at 5% level of significance with the n1 plus n2 minus 2 degrees of freedom, we will reject null hypothesis and we will accept alternate hypothesis, that is research hypothesis, alternate hypothesis. Okay, so if calculated t value is less than the table value of t at 5% level of significance with n1 plus n2 minus 2 degrees of freedom, we accept null hypothesis H0. If calculated t value is more than the table value of t at 5% level of significance with n1 plus n2 minus 2 degrees of freedom, we reject null hypothesis and we will be accepting alternate hypothesis. This is with regard to unpaired t-test. Next we will move on to paired t-test. So paired t-test, when we will be using, if we want to compare two sets of values of same group taken at different period of time. For example, if you want to assess the knowledge after a structured teaching program. So first you have to take pre-test, that is before giving a structured teaching program, you will be doing a pre-test. Then you will be taking structured teaching program. Then after that you will be taking post-test. Okay, so for example, if you want to assess the knowledge on diabetes mellitus, so first what initially you will be taking 30 samples, for example 25 samples you are taking. So you have to assess the pre-test level of knowledge. So now today you are taking pre-test level of knowledge. Then tomorrow you are giving an intervention. After 1 week you are going to do post-test. So within the same group you are conducting this, you are comparing the results. So for this what you are using paired t-test. If you want to compare two sets of values of same samples taken in two different time periods, we can use t-test, paired t-test. In pre-test, post-test design, we mostly use paired t-test. Similarly, if you want to assess the pain level, so before giving intervention, what is the pain level? There you will be taking, and then you will be giving intervention for a certain period of time, either hot application or cold application, and how it is going to reduce the pain. So post test you will be doing. So how to compare? By means of statistical analysis, paired t-test. In pre-test, post-test design, we use paired t-test. Here we will test whether the mean difference is 0 or not. So let x1 be the pre-test value and y1 be the post-test value. Okay, so x1 be the pre-test value and y1 be the post-test value. Then we can find the difference between pre-test and post-test value as d ith sample is equal to y ith sample minus x ith sample. So suppose if ith means if it is first sample, okay, what is the difference between y1 and minus x2? Suppose if it is a fifth sample, d5 is equal to y of fifth sample minus value of x fifth sample, like that. So then for testing H0, that is H0 means what hypothesis? Null hypothesis. There is no difference in pre-test and post-test value. So H0 is what? D bar is equal to 0. So your H0, that is null hypothesis is D bar. Okay, the difference, the mean of the differences is 0. D bar is nothing but what? Mean difference. Okay, so in pre-test, post-test design, we use paired t-test. Here we will test whether the mean difference is 0 or not. Let x1 be the pre-test value and y1 be the post-test value. Then we can find the difference of pre-test and post-test value as di is equal to y ith sample minus xi. Then for testing H0 I, there is no difference in pre-test and post-test value. What is your null hypothesis H0? D bar is equal to 0. Then the test statistic of paired t-test formula T is equal to D bar square root of n divided by standard deviation. Okay, D bar into square root of n, that is sample size, okay, divided by SD means standard deviation. What is the formula for calculating SD here? Sigma d minus d bar whole square divided by n minus 1. The formula for calculating standard deviation, because it is a small sample, so it is standard deviation for sample mean. Already we have posted videos with regard to standard deviation for sample mean and population mean. So since the sample size is less than 30, we are using n minus 1. So what is the formula for standard deviation? Is equal to summation of d minus d bar whole square divided by n minus 1. So d bar is equal to sigma d divided by n. Okay, how you have to find d bar? Means all the differences you have to add, summation of d, all the thing you have to add, differences, then you have to divide it by the total number of samples. Okay, so d ith sample already I have told yi minus xi, n minus 1. So here what is n minus 1 is the degrees of freedom. N minus 1 degree of freedom. N is nothing but the sample size. So this is the formula for paired t-test. E is equal to d bar into square root of n divided by sd, where sd is equal to summation of d minus d bar whole square divided by n minus 1. D bar is equal to, how to find out d bar, is equal to summation of d divided by n. So d is, how you will be finding the differences for each value, you have to find out d value. Okay, you have to minus y value from x value. So n minus 1 is nothing but the degree of freedom. N is equal to sample size. So this is with regard to paired t-test. Same thing. After that, you have to write the inferences. So, if calculated value of t is less than the table value of t at 5% level of significance at n minus 1 degree of freedom, we accept null hypothesis. Okay, we accept null hypothesis if calculated value of t is less than the tabled value of t at 5% level of significance. 5% means you have to see as 0.05. Okay, 5% level of significance at n minus 1 degree of freedom, we have to accept null hypothesis. Otherwise, we will reject null hypothesis. So what we will reject null hypothesis means what? See, if calculated value of t is more than the table value of t at 5% level of significance at n minus 1 degrees of freedom, we reject null hypothesis and accept alternative hypothesis. Suppose if calculated value of t value is less than the table t value, then you will be accepting what? Null hypothesis. If calculated value is more than the table t value at 5% level of significance at n minus 1 degrees of freedom, you will be accepting alternative hypothesis and you will be rejecting what? Null hypothesis, and you will accept alternate hypothesis. Okay, so this is with regard to t-test. So it's more than enough for a 5-mark question. Even if it comes in essay question also, this is more than enough. Okay, so mostly, but they will be asking only in 5-mark question only. Okay, hope this video is clear for you all. If you like my video, please give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to Science Easy Tech channel. My previous videos link I have given in description box, suggested end card and iCard. You can watch our channel playlist BSc Nursing 4th Year Nursing Research and Statistics for more nursing research and statistic related videos. We have also posted videos with regard to BSc Nursing question papers. You can watch our channel playlist and you can get benefited. Thank you friends. Keep supporting to Science Easy Tech channel.